Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel for another video on all things real estate related in Marco Island, Florida. The goal of my channel is to share valuable and insightful information, not only as a professional realtor, but also incorporating my perspective as a resident of 10 years. I combine both business and practicality to bring you my best advice. This video is intended for prospective owners of waterfront properties, so if you are seeking a move to Marco Island and desire a waterfront property, this video will be a wonderful resource for you. I'm going to discuss two things that you should consider before investing waterfront. I've owned property both inland as well as on the water and find today's topic very helpful for new buyers, specifically coming to the island desiring this island lifestyle. In Marco Island, waterfront living is desired by those who are seeking the boater's lifestyle or those who simply just appreciate our waterfront views. It is probably one of the most important aspects of our island living. Almost all waterfront properties on Marco Island, this is going to mean canal front, bayfront, riverfront, they are all protected by seawalls. So this brings us to the most important topic, the age and condition of the seawall. You may be wondering, what is a seawall? Well, it's a structure that's going to separate the water from the land. It's very important in serving a number of different functions that are important for both a property owner and the city of Marco Island. A seawall serves to protect your property from a loss of land due to erosion from currents or waves, anything of that nature. They really help us maintain proper water depth in our waterways, and they define the width of a waterway for the purpose of dock construction. Seawalls provide us just overall stability for all waterfront properties. This all can be combined into an easy statement saying that a seawall is intended to keep your land in rather than keep the water out. There are several different types of material used. We have concrete, composite, even metal. They each have their pros and cons. The designs, though, are very similar. The panels extend vertically from below the water's floor. This is referred to as the berm to above the land elevation. The construction is going to include tie-back rods that anchor to these structures, concrete blocks that are essentially embedded into your soil. These tiebacks are vital to maintain that upright position of the wall. It prevents them from falling or sliding into the water. Some seawalls even have pilings that are spaced along the waterfront to really help minimize a seawall from sliding down and out or just leaning into the water. Seawalls also have a special drain system. These help kind of drain away any water that gets behind the slabs that can really compromise the integrity over time. Both of those two features are really important to help prolong the life of a seawall. Because over time, seawalls, they experience different forms of failure. But like anything, there's maintenance and repairs can be done to prolong its life. But if the maintenance is left unaddressed, this is where it can lead to some costly repairs. So when you're considering purchasing a home or a lot on the water, this is why I'm going to strongly recommend that you have your seawall evaluated by a marine contractor or an engineer. There are many properties on our island that still have the original seawall. These seawalls are now nearing the end of their useful life. I sat through a training once and I was told that the average life of a seawall was about 50 years, but there's really no magic number because over the years, the construction of seawalls has just changed dramatically in the design and the material. It's also going to be very dependent upon where the home is located. Are you on open water? Perhaps the Marco River for us. This has stronger currents, bigger wakes and waves. Over time, this is going to have more wear and tear on your seawall. So let's talk about some of the maintenance issues of seawalls. I'm going to share some common problems, some that are easier to identify by the eye than others. For example, we have sinkholes that are along the seawall. These are going to be on the land side. There are failures to our tiebacks where we can see the top of the seawall leaning towards the water. Discussing all these repairs and the remedies of seawalls, that is probably an entirely different video topic, but for the sake of today's conversation, I'm just simply helping you understand that seawalls do require maintenance over time. So if you're considering investing in a waterfront home or lot, you really want to understand the condition of your future seawall and evaluate if you're inheriting any issues. Okay, moving on to our second topic that you really need to consider and discuss with your realtor. If you are a boater, you really need to understand the difference between water direct and water indirect access. This can be very valuable. Direct access means you have a direct route to open Gulf water without any concerns of bridges, so you have no height restrictions. Your indirect access means that you need to go under bridges, therefore you have to consider if your boat has a height constraint or even when high tide might occur. So as you can imagine, your water direct homes, these are going to have a shorter idle ride time out to open water. It means faster back home if you get caught in a rainstorm, which isn't all that uncommon here. And let me tell you, it is not a particularly enjoyable experience. We once were caught in a rainstorm trying to race home and beat it, and let me tell you, it hurt. The rain feels like pellets just constantly nailing you. We were trying to hide under towels. It was an experience. So really, we have two different value points here. You've got bridge height restrictions, and then you've got your quicker timing to open water. So as you can see, there really is value in our direct access homes. They simply have a higher premium. You can expect to pay more for having no bridges and quicker time to open water. So if we are looking at indirect homes, though, I do keep a list of bridge heights to help guide all of my customers. Some bridges on the island are higher than others, and this can make a difference depending on which type of boat you have. Some of our indirect homes are probably maybe an easy 20 minutes out to open water, while others can be at least 40 plus minutes of idle time. This may or may not matter to you. But either way, your budget and your boat mast, those are going to dictate whether or not we're focusing on water direct or water indirect access. Being a realtor is so much more than just showing properties. It's sharing relevant information like this to help guide you in your purchase. As always, education is power, and who you work with matters. I'm Devin Sweazy with Sotheby's Realty in Marco Island, Florida. You can reach me at 239-919-7400.